Welcome to Nerd Reviews, everybody. I'm Tyson Cox, and this week we're going to be going over Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. As a 20-year D&D veteran, I'm so excited that this movie got made, let alone that it was good, which is so exciting. All the trailers and previews had me a little worried, and I knew it was probably a good sign when they're letting people see it 2 weeks early, like myself. Now, this movie is directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein of Spider-Man: Homecoming and Horrible Bosses, so you know it's probably going to be pretty good. It was written by Jonathan Goldstein, John Francis Daley, and Michelle Gilio, and story by Chris McKay and Michelle Gilio. At its core, it's a fantasy heist action comedy, which, as you know, if you're a dungeon master and have tried to run any serious campaign, you know it always ends up devolving into jokes about Boblin the Goblin, who's going to be Roblin the Moblin. Anyways, we follow Chris Pine, who plays Edgin Darvis, the smooth-talking bard, and Michelle Rodriguez, playing Holga Kilgore, the exiled barbarian. Joining them is Renee Jean Page, playing Zink Yander, the human paladin. A little weird he got third billing, considering he's in the movie a lot less than anyone else, but hey, I'm not here to judge. Also is Justice Smith, playing Simon Armar, half-elf wild magic sorcerer, and Sophia Lillis, playing Doric, the half-tiefling druid. The plot follows Edgin and his group of honorable thieves after they've been betrayed and need to go on to the adventure of a lifetime to get back what was stolen. What I really enjoyed about this is it felt like a player's year-long campaign cut down into story highlights mixed with getting the band back together and cutting out all the travel and ration counting, aka a cool dungeon master. What I really enjoyed is the movie itself felt like it was being played by people playing the character. Simon being a self-nerfed sorcerer was a really fun move because I've done that in games where I've made the characters a little bit worse off than what they would be normally just because it adds a different level of role-playing into a session. Zink, with the epic backstory and being in for only a little bit, really felt like your friend coming back from college, being able to sit in for 3 sessions before they got to go back to work for their dad. And then Doric learning to get over their prejudices, and of course Edgin, the bard, who used no abilities, like none. Like seriously, I love that. I love that the lead was just a smooth-talking dude who could kind of play the lute. And that's not even like sarcastic. I genuinely enjoy that was his thing. I think the acting was great. The humor was on point. I love that they used a ton of practical effects, even when sometimes it honestly made it look a bit more campy, but to me that added to the charm. Kind of like when your little cousin paints a mini, and so now it stays a pink and purple dragon of smooches forever with heart scales. Seriously, don't touch it. And no, Kyle, we're not painting it, no matter how many times you complain about it. You know, in fact, if you complain about it one more time, it gets stronger. The cinematography was great. The fights were really fun. Holga felt like she had a 19th strength, sending Town Guard flying and doing epic leaps. And it's really cool that D&D actually released stat blocks for all the characters, so that's how I know she had a 19. The themes of the movie are classics: good versus evil, honor, the real treasure was the friends you met along the way, yada yada yada. Also, you know, leveling up and getting some great stories. Overall impression, I loved it. I've been playing D&D forever, and getting to see it picked up on a big screen and then watching it surrounded by other D&D fans and really getting to soak in the epic moments and laughing together made it a really special movie. I've already watched it more than once, which I rarely do unless it's a Tremors movie, so that both says something and nothing at the same time. Conclusion, it's a fun movie. Fantasy without being too gloomy, and it's honestly just fun. Seriously, it's fun. If you're a big fan of D&D, you'll have your moments of recognizing names and places, but if you're not a fan, not knowing that doesn't take anything away. It's just a little bonus treat, a little Easter egg. Now, yes, there were some mistakes made. The druid is way too low level to get that many wild shapes, and you can't turn into a bugbear. But I don't really care. That chase through the city was really fun. It's rule 1, you know what I mean? The rule of cool. GM fiat. My complaints are very nitpicky. Like the group itself was just humans, or humans with pointy ears, or humans with pointy ears and horns. I really wish there was a dwarf or a gnome in the party. Just really mix it up, really drive home that fantasy feel. But they did put a ton of other creatures in the background, so I can't really fault them for that. Just a personal thing. With that out of the way, I think it can be best wrapped up by Ed Greenwood, creator of the Forgotten Realms, where the movie takes place. He said the movie was fun, the action never flagged, and it was a romp. I am so pleased that this is a movie D&D fans can be proud of and not wince at. Thank you for joining us for the review. If you enjoyed it, please check out our channel. We have more reviews coming, and also we have a podcast where we just generally talk about nerd news and daily shorts all over the place. So like us, subscribe, tell a friend. Thank you so much. See you next week.